Sayın Bakanım hoş geldiniz. His Excellency Bekir Bozdag, Justice Minister of Turkey, welcome. We are very honored and proud to host this event on the occasion that His Excellency is paying a visit to the United States at a very critical time in the aftermath of July 15 coup attempt, and his mission is to improve the dialogue with his U.S. counterparts for the extradition of Fethullah Gülen and make this process as smooth as possible. As you all know, and as we just discussed in an earlier panel here, July 15 coup attempt has been a serious national trauma for the Turkish people, and across the board also all parties and all people of different convictions in Turkey were convinced that Fethullah Gülen and his followers were behind this attempt. So now Turkey is seeking his extradition from the United States, its NATO ally, and this process has already put some extra pressure on the bilateral relationship, in addition to the stress emanating from the regional issues. But our Justice Minister will be talking more specifically on how this coup attempt unfolded and the Fethullah Gülen organization was behind this. So I won't read his extensive bio. It's a very extensive and impressive bio, but he's been critical in democratization vision, building the democratization vision of AK Party since the beginning. He has a long career in law and human rights and democratization in Turkey. So we feel particularly privileged to host him, and we look forward to his speech. After Minister's keynote, my colleague Kılıç Kanat from SETA Washington, he'll be moderating a session, question and answer session, so you'll get a chance to interact with the minister himself as well. So we're once again very proud to have him at such a critical juncture in U.S.-Turkey relations, and thank you for coming here to listen to him. Mr. Minister, we welcome you again. Tekrar hoş geldiniz efendim.
Evet, saygıdeğer katılım.
Distinguished participants, I would like to extend my deepest regards to all of you on behalf of myself and on behalf of the MPs, together with my delegation. We have the President of Parliamentary Justice Committee, Ahmet İyimaya. We have Hakkı Köylü, Parliamentary Justice Committee member. We have İsmail Faruk Aksu and Ömer Süha Aldan, MPs from the opposition parties as well. I would like to extend each and every one of you. And I would like to thank the director and team of the foundation for political, economic, and social research. The main topic of our visit to the U.S. is the extradition of Fethullah Gülen, the leader and founder of Fethullahist terrorist organization, and his provisional arrest for the purpose of extradition. So Turkey's requests, with a view to be taken on board by the U.S. authorities, we are here to convey our messages, opinions, and the importance we attached to that subject was also discussed with the U.S. authorities from the first hand. Our meetings were quite productive and positive. When I say positive and productive, I mean that the Attorney General of the US is aware of our sensitivity towards the subject, and they were very well aware of the significance of the subject, and it was also important for the US and US authorities to understand the situation better. I think it was very fruitful, beneficial, because we understood each other better, we evaluated each other better. Actually, we talked about some issues in our meeting, and availing myself of this opportunity, I would like to give you some information about the structure, the functions, the organizational structure of Fethullahist terrorist organization in brief. Turkey, for a long time, has been struggling with terrorism. And our long-standing experience in the field of counterterrorism taught us a lot. And we actually are sharing what we have learned from this experience. Turkey, for the time being, is struggling with the separatist terrorist organization PKK, YPG, PYD, the extension of PKK in Syria, the HKPC, Daesh, MLP, TIKO, MLKP, and TAK terrorist organizations. So Turkey is fighting against different terrorist organizations with different names, with different targets, objectives. So Turkey is fighting with them simultaneously. I'm talking about around 10 different terrorist organizations. So while fighting against these terrorist organizations, I can say that Turkey is a unique example as an outstanding country to counterterrorism. Actually, Turkey paid a great price and learned a lot. So in order to eliminate terrorism and in order to be successful and in order to be effective and efficient, international sincere cooperation and solidarity are sine qua non. So no matter how effectively you are countering terrorism, if you are lacking an international cooperation and solidarity, or if it exists but it's not sincere, then it won't be easy to get the desired results. So as Turkey, we always state that terrorism has no color, religion, nationality, or race. So no matter where it occurs, terrorism is the common enemy of all humanity. Terrorists are our enemies. So all the countries around the world, all the people around the world should be in a solidarity without any hesitations, without any contradictions. This is a must. So if Daesh or other terrorist organizations have the power to do their activities, is the result of inability to build that cooperation, that sincere cooperation. Around 5 years ago, Daesh was not existing. So from around 170 countries, people or there are terrorists who are fighting for Daesh. So we're talking about different countries with different cultures, different sects, different religion, and we're talking about one terrorist organization. Within a couple of years, that terrorist organization has learned their culture, has learned their habits, and sent people to Syria just to kill people or to get killed. This is against the normal course of life. What do you think? Do you think that this is within the normal course of life? I can categorically say that this is not within the this is not in line with the normal course of life. So we are talking about many people, and we are talking about an organization which convince people to go to Syria and kill people. I think that there is some other power behind them. Actually, we are talking, let's think about it like that. We are a family, and even inside a small family, we have differences of opinions, and we have some conflicts, let alone this huge terrorist organization with terrorists coming from so many different countries, so many different cultures. So today this is the case, but who is selling them or providing them with guns? Who is providing the logistics? Of course, someone is selling them guns. Someone is providing them with logistics. The coalition government, like the planes of 66 coalition powers are bombing Daesh, but it's not over yet. So if it were a cordial cooperation or solidarity, then I think this would have been cleaned or erased within one day or within a day. However, when we look at the picture, that struggle is clearly not cordial, not sincere. So in order to be successful in counterterrorism, we definitely need the cordial coordination and solidarity of the international society. Without it, without achieving it, we cannot be successful. The international society, when decides to put an end or eradicate Daesh, I believe that they would be able to do so. But now the jets of 66 countries are bombing, are countering, but Mosul is under occupation. Most of Syria or Iraq is under occupation, and terrorism extends from these territories to the world. And Turkey is the country which is affected from Daesh terrorism most. Daesh terrorist organization organizes terrorist activities by using suicide bombers. We have a border with Iraq with 300 kilometers and with Syria with 900 kilometers, and we have around 3 million refugees that came to our country, and we are struggling with them at the same time, exerting every effort to eliminate Daesh. Very clearly, I'm saying very clearly that Turkey is one of the leading countries to counter Daesh in an effective manner. Be it in Iran, be it in Iraq, be it in Syria, Turkey actually is in a close cooperation with all the countries without any hesitation, and I believe that in order to get or yield effective results, this is a must. But there are now new generation terrorist organizations. Fethullahist terrorist organization is different from the existing terrorist organizations. It has a sui generis structure. So in that structure, in their organizational structure, I do not know any other terrorist organization that is similar to FETO. So with your permission, I'd like to give some information, brief information about their activities. This terrorist organization is with their works in the field of religion, education, that organization is getting close to the families, to the children like that, and they prioritize gaining place in the society, in the community. So they they detect and find the intelligent, the bright, gifted students, and then they approach to them, to their families, and then they get these children to their own schools, private teaching institutions, and during the in the high schools or in universities, they get in touch with them very closely, and in line with the ideology of the organization, they actually doctrinate these children. They are doing a brainwash to these children, and after some time, the members of that organization attaches more importance to the terrorist organization when compared to their families, their mothers, their fathers. So they become more attached to Fethullah Gülen. So they come to a point that when he says die, they are ready to die. And when he says kill people, they are ready to kill people because they see it as a good deed to bring them up to heaven, to take them up to heaven. This is something very bad indeed. And they educate, they train these people, and later they try to place them into the strategic positions of the state, like military, to police, to judiciary, and while doing so, if necessary, they acquire the examination questions, like civil servant examination questions beforehand, and distribute these questions to their members so that the members of the organization can succeed in these exams, and they get a position within the state cadres. So after they're admitted to the state, then they carry on carrying out the instructions that are given to them. One example, there are so many, but I'd like to share one of them with you. The Chief of Staff of Turkey, the aide of Chief of Staff, Levent Türkkan, in his statement said that I was placing a wiretap, an interception device, in the room of the Chief of Staff, and he was taking it back every evening to give it to someone superior within the organization, and that person is transmitting it up to Fethullah Gülen in Pennsylvania. So, as a state, as a government, will you be curious about what is spoken by the Chief of Staff? Yes, of course you will do. However, it's not possible for someone to enter into his room if you are not a citizen of that country. But we're talking about that person, we're talking about a person who gets a position within the office of the Chief of Staff, and he gets inside, he infiltrates into them, he goes to their room, he places an interception device. So they obtain every kind of confidential, classified information, and then submit and deliver that information to the leader of the organization. From the outside, it may seem like an organization based on religion and education. However, from inside, this organization is getting all the information from the strategic state organs through their members infiltrated into the state. So, do they use that information to improve their education system or to improve their religious teachings? Well, I'm talking about the characteristics of this organization. This organization reflects a clandestine organization. They are using the method of deceiving. They use deceiving and disguise. They hide themselves. They take some measures for themselves, and they hide themselves from you. Why are they doing this? They are doing this to gain a position in your eyes, before your eyes. In Turkey, with regard to the structure of that organization, many things were uttered. However, in order to show the real structure of that organization, it should be known that Turkey is only able to realize that they pose a huge threat after 4 years. Why? Because that organization has always been acting in a very secret, in a clandestine manner. The main characteristics of this organization is to hide itself. So they act in a way to please the officials where they are working. So they do not reflect their own real identity, but the identity that will please others. So they're always deceiving. That organization in Turkey abuses religion, education, and our children to gain power. That's how they gained power. And they are doing the same in the United States. They're doing the same in other countries. You see that the people are well educated, they speak foreign languages, they do some other things, and they act in a way to please you. That's how it looks from the outside. However, in reality, in the background, there is something else going on, and the members of the organization are used for commission of crimes. As I said, Turkey has realized that threat 40 years later. When this was explained, so as said by some of our European friends in the US, so they look at these people, their appearance, their clothing, their education, so it's not consistent. They think that maybe people are exaggerating because they look quite different, they look quite okay. But as Turkey, we say that we were deceived just like you. We were wrong just like you for many years. Please do not fall into the same mistake that we did. Please seek the reality, seek the truth behind the appearance. Please check whether Turkey is telling the truth or not. That organization is not only a security threat for Turkey, but to all other countries in which they are active. They are actually damaging the public order. They gain strength, power in different institutions, like within the judiciary, within the police, within the military. They are committing crimes against Turkey, Turkish government, the elected president of Turkey. By fabricating false evidence, they made so many innocent people spend their time in jail, and after some time the court decided to release these people because it was proved that all this evidence was falsified. So their extensions within the judiciary, they used their members to create the image that Turkey was helping, supporting terrorist organizations. So they initiated an operation against the National Intelligence Organization of Turkey just to create the image in the international arena that Turkey was supporting terrorist organizations. It's quite clear. They were intercepting people's conversations through the judiciary. They get a decision that allows for interception, and then they intercept these people. They wiretap people. So important figures, like artists, footballers, politicians, were all wiretapped by them, and later they were blackmailing these people. And if there is an offense, they are using that offense for that purpose as well. So if they do not obey the organization, then they start a legal process against them. But otherwise, if they obey the organization, then there is no problem. Now, what I have said, all I have said, are being investigated in Turkey. There are so many other examples. That's why that organization is different from the others. They there are civil servants infiltrated into, nested into the state, and they are using the money of the state as their own, as the money of the organization. They are using the arms and weapons of the state as if their own. They are using the possibilities and capacities of the state as if their own. So that's what we are facing now as a terrorist organization. So this is quite different from other terrorist organizations from this perspective. That's why I'm calling them as a new generation terrorist organization. It's quite different from all the others. 15th of July 2016, the bloody and failed coup attempt showed that this was started with the members of this organization within the army, within the police. So the tanks, the fighter jets, the weapons of state were used against people. 241 civilians were killed, and 2,194 were wounded. Their organs fell apart. They were heavily wounded, and most of them were crippled. One example I would like to give, there is Turksat Satellite Broadcasting Center, and they raided Turksat in order to stop TV broadcasting on the night of the coup attempt. So the coup plotters occupied Turksat, and there was a resistance, and as a result of that resistance, they killed two employees, and they took the remaining as hostage. And after taking them hostage, the coup plotter asks for a bottle of water, and when he is given the water, he drinks the water according to Islamic principles, reciting, saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. He is doing it in line with the Islamic rules. And the hostages, one of the hostages said that you killed two people without blinking an eye, but now you are drinking the water according to the Islamic principles. How this is possible? He replies as, I did good to them. He was martyred, he is now in heaven. And if I'm killed here, I'm ready to die here, by the way. And if I am killed, I will go up to heaven as well. It's just like Daesh terrorist organizations, suicide bombers. These bombers, suicide bombers, are convinced by Daesh, and they are convinced that these people are innocent, and when they are killed, they will go to heaven. And those who are killing them will also be martyred, and they will go up to heaven. There is the same rationale there. So if you kill someone on that night, these people will be martyred. If you get yourself killed, then you will become a martyr too. So these people hidden within the state, when receive an instruction from the organization, upon the instructions of their superiors, are ready to commit any offense, ready to do anything. One another example, the Gendarmerie General Command, General Yaşar Günel, the office of the Chief of Staff was occupied, and that general is forced to lie down on the ground, and his aide-de-camp forced him to do so, and he puts his feet to head of the general and says that, do not move, we're doing a training here. When this was explained to me by General Yaşar, I asked him, General Yaşar, if I asked about your aide-de-camp yesterday, how would you reply? He said that I would said that he's actually very close to me, and he's even closer to my own son, to my own daughter. He's that much close to me. However, when they receive an instruction from the leader of the organization, it's just like people who were inserted chips. They just act quite differently. That's why understanding Fethullah's terrorist organization is very difficult from outside. You cannot understand them by looking at their clothes. You cannot understand them by looking at their educational background. That is why their real face should be revealed. He's active in the United States, and they're active in other countries as well. Do they affect Congress members? Yes. Do they influence media? Yes. Education? Yes. Non-governmental organizations? Yes. Then I'm asking a question to you. Like some of the Congress members signed a letter that is in favor of Fethullah Gülen. Maybe you know it better, but maybe I'm mistaken about the number. But as far as I'm concerned, 74 senators signed a letter that is in favor of Fethullah Gülen. So I do not know whether any citizen in US or other citizen received that number of signatures, or is there any other letter that is signed by these high number of senators. This is the reflection of power, their reflection of power in politics. There are like TV stations here. There are 146 charter schools here. And from the state budgets, from the taxpayers' money, there is a money flow to this organization with $500 million. And there is money flow from Turkey to US as well. Fethullah Gülen came to the States in 1999, so it's 18 years. In 18 years in education, in non-governmental organizations, in making a PR to influence the public opinion, in trade, in media, in press. I do not know any other US citizen or any other citizen that came to the USA who is bearing a green card and who became that powerful within only 18 years. We have to examine this. We have to look at it. So the taxpayers of American citizens are used against the American nation. They get an earning from there. And on the other hand, there's a huge money laundering organization. From Turkey to here, there is money transfer within the framework of an investigation. Some of the academics were found with 5 billion Turkish liras. I do not want to give you the numbers, but if they receive their salaries until their retirement time, and if they do not spend even 1 lira of it, that amount is not possible to be to have. So they transfer money by using everything, even from the babies, even from the infants, and from everywhere they have this money flow. We say to our US friends that please investigate that money flow. Please evaluate how the transactions, monetary transactions are made. You have to evaluate it. When it comes to money laundering, Fethullah's terrorist organization actually is the best organization all around the world. They cannot be compared to mafia or any other terrorist organization. They're very good at money laundering. They're best at money laundering because they do their activities, carry out their activities after deemed positive by the states, by the authorities. When they are deemed positive, when they are accepted, then they carry out these activities. And otherwise, some other people may say that you are exaggerating or you are not telling the truth. But I told everyone, please just take a look at what's under the table. if what we are saying is not true, is not correct, then you are free to say that you are not telling the truth, but you are telling lies. But the bitter experience we had after 40 years, we really do not want any of our friends to suffer from the same thing. And as Turkey, we are extending saying our sensitivities, conveying our sensitivities. With regard to Fethullah Gülen's extradition, we sent 4 files. These files are produced in line with the provisions of the extradition treaty that is in effect between our countries. We also sent a request for provisional arrest, and in that provisional arrest we had more than sufficient information. I'm gonna say that the files we have given to the U.S. authorities, I'm talking about provisional arrest, if this is not done or if this is not fulfilled, then I don't know any other file that is stronger than this and that will pave the way for provisional arrest. We explained that situation to the U.S. authorities. We explained it to them. We want it because Fethullah Gülen is actually continuing to manage the terrorist organization from Pennsylvania. And we are a friend and ally of the U.S. So we actually are also feeling sad and frustrated that that person continues his activities from here, gives messages, gives interviews, posts videos, messages, speeches, and carrying out terrorist activities. We cannot accept it and we cannot tolerate it. No one can accept Turkey, from Turkey to do so. By the way, we also need empathy. We always tell our friends that Turkey and Turkish people's sensitivity, in order to understand us, in order to understand our sensitivity, you have to have the same feelings with us. Just imagine that there was an assassination attempt to the U.S. President, Mr. Obama. White House was bombed, Congress was bombed, Pentagon was bombed, tanks, helicopters were shelling at people and shooting at people with automatic guns, and civilian and innocent 241 American citizens were killed and around 2,000 were wounded. And the leader and manager of the terrorist organization was residing in Turkey. Just imagine. And U.S. asks for his extradition from Turkey, and Turkey, let's say, stalls the U.S., takes its time to do so. Then what would the U.S. and U.S. people and U.S. government feel about it? We're talking about that type of person who murdered so many people, who damaged so many people. And if you are deceived by their disguise, by their hypocrisy, then you may make different evaluations, but you have to realize that 241 citizens were murdered, were killed, and the one who resulted their killing is Fethullah Gülen. 2,000 people were wounded, some of them were disabled, some of them are still under treatment, and it's Fethullah Gülen who is behind all these, responsible for all these. Who would do such a thing? Which teacher or which religious figure would do such a thing? So in order that to be understood well, I urge everyone to be in empathy with us. Whatever Osama bin Laden means for the U.S., Fethullah Gülen means the same for Turkey and Turkish people. Fethullah Gülen, without being subject to any restriction in the US. He's carrying out his activities. He's not he's not being extradited. He's not provisionally arrested, and all these facts, all these things will damage the relationship between US and Turkey. We do not want our relationship to suffer from it. Our interests of both countries urge us to act in cooperation, act together. If we do so, we would be stronger. So actually, and I do hope that at the end of this process, extradition will be granted and provisional arrest would be effected, and US-Turkey relations will not suffer from it. That's what our expectation is. Thank you very much for coming here. Thank you very much for your attention. I would like to extend my regards to each and every one of you.
Çok teşekkür ediyoruz Sayın Bakanım. Bu oldukça yoğun programınızda SETA'ya zaman ayırdığınız için. Bu oldukça önemli bir konu ve Türk-Amerikan ilişkileri için de çok son derece önemli, son bahsettiğiniz gibi. Ben moderasyonu yapacağım. Moderasyondan önce benim bir iki sorum var. Daha sonra misafirlerinizden soru alacağız. İlk sorum, empatiden bahsettiniz. Sizi darbe gecesi 15 Temmuz'da mecliste gördük. Biz yurt dışındaydık ama orada yaptığınız konuşma son derece cesaret vericiydi. Ve Türk halkı tarafından son derece takdirle karşılandı ve herkes izledi bu konuşmayı. Buraya gelen milletvekillerinden 15 Temmuz'da parlamentoda ne olduğunu öğrendik. Herkesten öğrenmeye çalıştık ne oldu. Bir de sizden dinleyebilir miyiz? O gece parlamentoda ne oldu? Belki yabancı misafirlerimiz de bu şekilde travmayı anlayabilirler. Buyurun.
Darbe teşebbüsünün olduğuna ilişkin bilgiler gerçeklik kazanınca o zaman grup olarak, parti olarak meclise gitmemiz gerektiğine dair bir değerlendirme oldu. Meclisi açık tutalım. Çünkü darbenin hedeflerinden bir tanesi de meclisi kapatmak, hükümeti düşürmek, Cumhurbaşkanlığı infaz etmek, etkisizleştirmek ve demokrasiyi, milli iradeyi yok etmek. Onun için meclisi açık tutalım. Darbeye karşı meclisin nöbetini tutalım. Milli iradenin nöbetini tutalım ve oradan ölümüne bir mücadele yapalım. Ve bunu da milletin gözü önünde yapalım düşüncesi hakim oldu. Meclis başkanımız meclisi açtı. Hem AK Partili milletvekilleri, hem Cumhuriyet Halk Partili milletvekilleri, hem Milliyetçi Hareket Partili milletvekilleri meclise akın ettiler. Grup başkan vekilleri, genel başkan yardımcıları da vardı ve orada herkes demokrasiyi, milli iradeyi, hukuk devletini öven ve onu koruyan, kollayan, önem atfeden konuşmalar yaptı. Bir noktada ben de hükümet adına bir konuşma için kürsüye çıktığımda konuşmanın ne kadar geçti bilemiyorum ama birkaç dakika geçti. Bir F-16 savaş uçağından meclisin üzerine bomba atıldı. Tabii bu çok bomba mı? İlk bomba. Yani çok şiddetli bir ses geldi. Tavandaki lambalar sallandı ve toz bulutu hem tavandan hem de yerden böyle kalktı. O arada milletvekili arkadaşlarımız sağa sola kaykındılar. Eğilme ihtiyacı hissettiler o bombanın etkisiyle. O arada tabii meclis karıştı. Bazı milletvekili arkadaşlarımız meclis başkanının yanına gittiler. Ona burada bir sağduyuya ihtiyaç var. Devlet aklına ihtiyaç var. Bu bomba meclise düşse bu kadar insan ölebilir şeklinde değerlendirmeler yapılıyor. Yüksek sesle konuştuğu için benim olduğum kürsüye de konuşmalar geliyor. Ben onu duyunca o anda aklımdan şu geçti. Meclis canlı yayında bu programı yapıyor. Evet. Direnci canlı yayında yapıyor. Eğer bombalardan meclisteki milletvekilleri korktu, endişe ve paniğe kapıldı, sığınağa kaçtı, böyle bir görüntü kamuoyuna yansırsa o zaman sokağa vatandaş çıkmaz. Darbeye karşı mücadeleden çekinebilir. Sokağa çıkanlar da endişe edip evine dönebilir düşüncesi hakim oldu. Onun üzerine ben yerimden ayrıldım. Meclis başkanımıza döndüm. Meclisi açık tutmamız gerektiğini, bize düşen burada ölmektir dedim ve onun üzerine de meclis başkanımız sağ olsun meclisin çalışması kararını aldı. Ben konuşmama kaldığım yerden devam ettim. Ama hiç kimse meclisi terk etmedi. Yani o lafı ben söyledim ama orada bulunanlar benim laf söylemedi ama benim yaptıklarımı onlar da yaptı. Yani bomba düşse onlar da ölmek için orada hazır bekliyordu. Konuşmama tekrar başladım. Birkaç dakika geçti. Bu sefer ikinci bir bomba geldi. Ama bunun şiddeti birincinin 2-3 misli daha fazla bir şiddette bomba geldi ve etraf. Sonra ben konuşmamı bitirdim. Bir zaman sonra gene konuştum, bitirdim. Meclis oturumu kapattı. Tabii sabahleyin biz nereye bomba düşmüş diye baktığımızda Türkiye Büyük Millet Meclisi'ni ziyaret edenler bilir. Şeref kapısı var meclisin. O şeref kapısının olduğu tarafa, yani genel kurulda benim konuştuğum yerle o şeref kapısının arası 15-20 metre. Yani 15-20 metre bu tarafa bomba düşse yani belki milletvekili orada bir kısmı ölebilir, bir kısmı sakat kalabilirdi. Allah'tan bu tarafa 15 metre bu yan düştü. Belki 3-4 metre biraz daha bu tarafa düşse gene ölümler, gene yaralanmalar olabilirdi. Allah korudu, öyle diyelim.
Tekrar geçmiş olsun
Çok sağ
size ve milletvekillerine. İkinci bir sorum, bahsettiniz buradaki görüşmelerinizi. Yoğun bir trafiğiniz vardı dün, görüşme trafiği. Biraz daha ayrıntı alabilir miyiz? Yani görüşmelerde bir sonuca yönelik bazı adımlar olacak mı? Ne bekliyoruz? Ve bunun sonuçları ne olabilir?
Şimdi biz görüşmede terör konusunda işbirliği ve dayanışmanın karşılıklı önemi konusunda bir değerlendirme yaptık. İkinci olarak Fethullahçı terör örgütünün yapısı, çalışma usulleri hakkında Sayın Bakan'a görüşlerimizi aktardık. Fethullahçı terör örgütü kurucusu ve yöneticisi terörist Gülen'in Türkiye iadesine ilişkin dosyalarla iade talebi nedeniyle tutuklanması ve 15 Temmuz 2016 darbe teşebbüsü nedeniyle tutuklanması talebimizi gündeme getirdik. Aramızdaki iade anlaşması çerçevesinde bu konuları konuştuk. İade anlaşması üzerindeki anlayışlarımızı biraz tartıştık. Ve birbirimizi anlama noktasında faydalı bir görüşme olduğunu düşünüyorum. Çünkü Türkiye için terörist Gülen'in iadesinin ne anlama geldiğini, Türkiye ve Türk halkı için bunun ne ifade ettiğini muhataplarımızın anlaması bakımından son derece önemli oldu. Biz de tabii muhataplarımızın bu süreçte yapmak istediklerini görme ve anlama imkanımız oldu. Karşılıklı birbirimizi iyi anladığımızı tahmin ediyorum.
Teşekkür ederim. Ben bu rolümü daha fazla suistimal etmeyeceğim. Şimdi soru cevapları alabiliriz. I'm opening the floor for questions and if we can start. We have two mics, I guess. Leslie, we can start from here. The mic is coming.
It's a tremendous privilege to hear from you. And my question is as follows. We have an American election coming up in the next literal days. To what extent do you think this has an impact on your message that you're trying to give to the American administration when it is very possible that some of the individuals that you're meeting with may not be in office come the new year once the new president is elected? Should I say it again?
Ha.
Can't hear it? Shall I repeat it?
Tercümede
Yeah,
de
okay,
problem
sure,
var.
okay. My question, and it's a great privilege that you're here today and to hear from you. We have an election coming in this country, literally in a few days, for president. To what extent do you think that this has an impact on this important message that you're trying to bring to the American administration when some of the officials you're meeting with may not be in those positions come the new year and when the new president comes into place? And are you concerned about that, or are you thinking about what might happen upon the new administration?
Öncelikle Amerikan seçimlerinin hayırlı ve başarılı olmasını diliyorum. Amerika halkı kimi başkan seçerse Türkiye o başkanla çalışmaya devam edecektir. Tabii seçim sürecinin olması bu karar alıcılar üzerinde bir etkisi mutlaka vardır. Bunu yadırgamamak gerektiğini de düşünüyoruz. Ama iade süreci hükümetlerin yönettiği bir süreç olsa bile devletler arası işleyen bir süreçtir. Devlette de devamlılık esastır. Hükümetler sadece bu sürecin yönetimiyle ilgilidir. Yeni başkan geldiğinde de bu görüşmelerin karar alma süresini hızlandırma bakımından bir etkisi olacağını tahmin ediyoruz. İnşallah bu iade konusu yeni başkana kalmaz. Ondan önce neticelenir diye umut ediyoruz.
Alan. Leslie, can we have the mic here? Alan.
Thank you very much. Alan Makowski, Center for American Progress. Thank you for your talk. Many people in Washington are trying to wrestle with, understand this issue, and thank you for taking the time to give a public talk on the matter. You'll excuse me for asking something that's not directly concerned with your main topic, but rather with your initial remarks setting out the framework of Turkish terrorism policy. You said that terrorism has no race, color, or ethnicity, and that the entire international community should work together against all forms of terrorism. And I know that's not a new point. I know Turkish officials have said this many times. Could you explain in that context, or remind us in that context, why Turkey does not consider Hamas a terrorist group? And second of all, this is a very specific point. You mentioned 10 terrorist groups that have been attacking Turkey, and I was somewhat struck that you mentioned TAK separately from PKK. Many people, I think most people, consider TAK part of PKK, and I just wonder if you could clarify, did you mean to say they were separate, and anything you'd care to say about the relationship between those two groups? Thank you very much.
Sondan başlayayım. Tabii TAK PKK'nın bir alt terör örgütü. Farklı olduğunu söylemek için değil de ayrı bir isimle kendisini adlandırdığını ifade etmek için söyledim. Tabii PYD, YPG de aynı. PKK'nın Suriye'deki adı. Yani onu da onlardan ayrı olduğu için değil de böyle ayrı bir adlandırma yapıldığı için söyledim. Belki bunu takip edenler olacaktır ama bu farklılığa dikkat çekmek için onu söylediğimi ifade etmek isterim. Tabii terör örgütleri konusunda Türkiye'nin tutumu çok net. Biz her zaman, her yerde terör konusunda ve terör örgütleri konusunda amasız, fakatsız biz işbirliğini hep yeğledik. Yani onu önemsiyoruz. İşte bir terör örgütüne karşı mücadele için başka bir terör örgütünü kullanmayı da doğru görmüyoruz. Örneğin işte şu anda Suriye'de DAEŞ terör örgütüne karşı PYD terör örgütü ve YPG terör örgütü kullanılabiliyor. Bu da doğru bir şey değil. Madem terör örgütüdür, o zaman ona karşı yapılacak iş de bellidir. Bunu hep beraber yapmamız gerekiyor. Birlikte hareket etmemiz gerekiyor. Bazı terör örgütleri eylem yaptığı ülkelere göre de değerlendiriliyor. Türkiye'ye karşı bir terör örgütü eylem yapıyor, PKK terör örgütü ve şu anda Avrupa'nın pek çok ülkesinde aleni himaye görüyor. Yani örneğin Brüksel'de Avrupa'nın başkenti, hemen orada bakıyorsunuz terör örgütü en aleni bir şekilde propaganda yapıyor. Hem finans sağlıyorlar, terörü finanse edici eylemler var, hem de terörist devşirme ve PKK terör örgütüne o ülkelerden terörist gönderiyorlar. Çok aleni yapılıyor, yani gözümüzün önünde yapılıyor. Biz bunları hep söylüyoruz kendileriyle görüşmelerimizde. Tabii bu doğru bir şey değil. Türkiye'ye karşı terör eylemi yapılıyorsa o terör örgütünü üstü açık, üstü kapalı desteklemek doğru bir şeydir gibi bir algılamayı da kabul etmiyoruz. Veya böyle bir icraatı da doğru görmüyoruz. Ama maalesef öyle oluyor. Onun için biz diyoruz ki hangi ülkeye, kime karşı yapılırsa yapılsın bunları hep beraber onlara karşı tavır koyalım, birlikte mücadele edelim. Şimdi Hamas konusunda Türkiye'nin farklı bir algısı var. Yani bir orada siyasi parti olarak değerlendiriliyor, seçime giriyor. Orada o halktan oy alıyor ve yasal bir faaliyet orada yürütüyor. Onun değerlendirmesini bazı ülkeler farklı yapabiliyor. Türkiye'de başka türlü bir değerlendirme içerisinde. Yani bu noktada bir ortaklaşmaya ihtiyaç var mı? Elbette var. Ama bizim görüşümüz Hamas'ın farklı bir özelliğe sahip olduğudur. Terör örgütü olarak nitelendirilmesinin Hamas açısından en azından doğru olmadığı yönünde. Biz onu her defasında ifade ediyoruz ama bazı ülkelerde öyle görüyor. Bu anlamda bir Türkiye ile bazı ülkeler arasında nitelendirme konusunda farklılık var. Ama Hamas diyelim ki İsrail'e karşı
But if Hamas were to conduct something, a terror activity against Israel or any other country, and if they were to kill civilians, throw bombs on innocent people, then you can be sure that Turkey's position would be very different. We see that we address that very differently, but at this point we have that difference.
Minister, I'm Asiye Alman, and I'm an American citizen, but a long-term friend of Turkey. And I happened to be in Istanbul on July 15th, and I also witnessed firsthand September 11th. So as I was very moved by your comparison and between the two events, and when I've tried to explain to my American friends what happened, I have used that same comparison, okay? So I appreciated that. But also, as an American citizen, this is kind of a continuation of this gentleman's question. We are going to vote for our next president, and I want to take it a step further than what he asked. You know, the American people will have to decide who the next president is, but if Hillary Clinton becomes our next president, I am concerned because there has been alleged significant contributions from the Golan community to the Clinton Foundation, you know, in recent years, and also in '99, when Golan first came here was during the Bill Clinton administration. So has there been any beginnings of any dialogue with the Clinton and the Clinton staff? How do you feel this will affect things? I'm concerned as an American and a friend of Turkey, this is going to make for a much more difficult situation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
tabii şu an
So right now, of course, we everyone has a guess as to who will become the president, but of course the final word will be said at the ballot box, and then we will all see that together. Whoever is elected, Turkey and the United States relations will continue. As we always say in Turkey, we have some Turkish expressions that is applicable here. I hope it's not misunderstood, but I'll say this. We say, whoever wears the crown will be moderated. I don't know how to explain that in a better way. Let's say people, once they come to a position of responsibility, whether it's once they come to a position of responsibility, they may say different things, especially if they are managing a country, then they have to act according to the realities. And they might be saying different things on the campaign trail, but once they come to a responsibility or a position of power, then I think some of the things that are said in the campaign trail may not be, I think some things may be different once the person is actually in that position. So I'm not paying too much attention to things that are said on the campaign trail. I think as someone who has a government experience, I don't pay too much attention to what they say.
Gather two more questions, Mujib Khan and Hakan.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. My question is about the process going forward in terms of the investigations and the judicial process. How do we separate those who are guilty and have blood on their hands in terms of the coup, and a much broader set of the population which might be deemed guilty simply by association? As you well know, this movement was very broad-based and popular in Turkey, but that doesn't mean that everyone associated with it had knowledge of these crimes. So is there a process, is there a program for rehabilitation and something like a Truth and Reconciliation Commission so that that Turkish society can heal and be brought together, and only those who had blood on their hands would be prosecuted?
Hakan, iki soruyu da alalım.
Efendim öncelikle hoş geldiniz. Hakan Çopur.
Welcome, Mr. Minister. I'm from the Anadolu Agency. As you mentioned, you said that an expert commission from Turkey has come to the United States about the extradition request, and previously Erdogan and Biden had met on this issue. So we know. So it seems like this is one of the this is a very high-level process. And we, if we were to evaluate this as the United States is taking this very, very seriously, how do you think this is affecting the Gülen organization? Do you think they might attempt to escape? What can you say about that? Those who were directly involved in the coup attempt versus people who are just part of this organization, or those who are, so there are two separate investigations, people who are, part of the coup attempt versus people who were part of the organization. So even before the coup attempt, there were some investigations that were ongoing based on being a follower of this organization. But after the July 15 coup attempt, all of these investigations piled up on the evening of 15 July. There are some civilians also that took part in this coup attempt. So thousands of people were involved in this. So they are being investigated, they are being questioned, and their testimonies are being taken. So this is a very intense time for the Turkish judicial process, and this also was reflected outside in a different way. So first, you have to neutralize the people who are directly involved in the coup attempt. So this is natural. The first days after the coup attempt, it looked like everyone was being, prosecuted in the same category. But right now, some of the investigations have turned into trials. For example, one in Izmir, there was a trial, one in Denizli. So based on the charges, there are still some investigations that are maybe turning into trials. So we are trying to process these as fast as possible, and we are trying to pay a lot of attention to the rule of law. Turkey is a country with the rule of law, and we're trying to conduct these prosecutions according to the fair trial principle, and in a way that everyone in the world can see. So nobody should worry about that. But this organization is trying to conduct a sort of an information operation in the international arena to say that these trials are not being conducted according to the fair trial principle. So people, please be careful against this information operation. Turkey is going to be very transparent about this. The second point, as far as the prosecutions regarding the membership in the organization are also ongoing, and they are based on evidence, and they're based on we are looking at the if there are no if the indictment has to have if there's sufficient evidence, and there's an indictment. If not, then there is not. So each side can defend themselves. They can object, and all of these are evaluated. And this is all done, publicly. Then there's a decision and prosecution. So right now there are some people who are detained. I don't have any way to know how many of these detainments will turn into trials. Maybe they will be released. Maybe they will be punished. This we will see at the end of the prosecution period. So we need some time for that. And as far as the illustration, the presence of the members of this organization in the state bureaucracy, and their actions according to the leaders' orders. This is a threat to the state. Every state has the right to expect their employees to operate by the Constitution. If we suspect that someone is not loyal to the Constitution, we don't have to work with them. If the United States had someone who was a judge who was a member of an ISIS terror organization, no. Would they be allowed to do that? No. So if they were allowed to do that, would that administration be viewed positively? No, of course not. So this is what we are doing. And there are examples of this in Europe. After the dissolution of the Soviet Union, some of the countries that found their independence, they found that the lustration system, and if they had people who they suspected as not being loyal to the Constitution, they did take those people out, and the world agreed. And so Turkey has the right to do this as well. And the people also want this to take place, because if a citizen goes to the court, they don't want to see someone who is affiliated with a terrorist organization. So this is very important for citizens as well. In each of the institutions, we have commissions. We have these commissions established by law, and they are the ones that evaluate these. And if there are objections to the evaluations, then whichever commission made the initial decision, then there's another commission which evaluates the objections, and so that if there is an objection or if there is a mistake, so they wouldn't go back to the first commission, and that they would go to another commission and they could evaluate it more objectively and correct a mistake. So we have this kind of mechanism as well. And so we are trying to prevent any kind of oversight we have a lot of evidence that shows membership in the organization, and we have tangible evidence that we use in terms of the membership of the organization, and that's how we take our steps. Let me talk to you about one of them. There's a system called the BioLook system. There's a lot of discussion surrounding this BioLook. To join the system, you have to have someone refer you to it. If you don't have a reference, you can't apply to it on your own. You have to have someone refer you. If you have someone refer you, then the system has to accept you. So reference is not enough. You have to get accepted. Once you are accepted, then you are given a password, and then you use the password to access the system. Everyone who has accessed the system, everyone from inside of Turkey and outside of Turkey, all of them are members of the FETO Terror Organization. There's no other person. So this is like basically a communication system. Everyone that uses this system is from the same organization. And second, this communication, the messages that were received from the system are all, communications that were among the members of the organization. So this is very clear. In the last few days, there's been a lot of activities to sort of, cast some doubt on these evidence. But anyone who looks at this folder, looks at this file, this is a clear, tangible evidence, and there are many, many others like this. And so we're trying to differentiate. Of course, the evidence that the judiciary looks for is also, they're going to also evaluate this, but they are going to evaluate it based on the judicial requirements and what they need for, punishment and prosecution. So we need tangible evidence in order to find them guilty. And about the other issue, I forgot your question. I had asked about the high-level meetings that are taking place between the U.S. and Turkey, and if Gülen would, or members of the organization would escape or attempt to escape based on these meetings.
Çünkü ABD hükümeti bugüne kadar hiçbir iade dosyasına
Until today, the United States has not paid this much attention to an extradition request, so we do have to give them that. We do have to concede that. So at the level of experts and at the level of ministers, the United States officials really have approached this with a greater sensitivity than any other extradition request. And we see that, and we do that, and we also, as the Justice Minister of Turkey, I can tell you no other extradition request has, we've never gone to another country about an extradition request. The United States Department of Justice has not, come to Turkey and received information about an extradition request. So this is all a first between the two countries, and this shows the importance that the two countries place on this issue. And this importance is of course, this importance is causing some concern on the leader of the FETO Terror Organization. Of course, they think that the United States will protect them and will not extradite them, and they're trying to, say this in Turkey. But of course, in part of their mind, they're probably asking, what if the United States extradites us? And the possibility that this will happen. They have in Canada, Norway, Brazil, and they are already conducting some searches as to where would they go, and they've already conducted some secret meetings with people there. And the Turkish intelligence agency has very tangible information about this, and we've also conveyed this information to the officials. So hopefully they won't go somewhere else. Hopefully that he will come to Turkey and we have him prosecuted in front of the law. So we have one more question. Thank you so much, Mr. Justice Minister. I have two questions. You said the United States government really places a great deal of importance on this extradition request. There's also this other FBI investigation that's been ongoing since 2011. You also mentioned it. 146 schools affiliated with Gülen here, and visa fraud, finance, and money laundering. Since 2011, there is an investigation that's going on based on these. When you talked with the Attorney General, have you asked, or did you ask for an explanation as to why this investigation has not turned into a trial? And the second question is, when you the Gülenists have some influence in civil society and organizations here, but there's also the issue of press freedom and the journalists that have been put in jail. There is also a sort of a legitimate criticism on the issue of Gülen's extradition. There is a possibility that this issue will affect the trial, and that this may risk the relations between the two countries. As the Justice Minister, as you said today that there are no journalists in jail, but as the Minister of Justice, what problems do you see on this issue having an effect on the extradition request of Gülen? So the issue of schools here, schools, I did talk with I did not talk with the Attorney General about that issue. My main topic was the extradition and the provisional arrest of Fethullah Gülen. That was the main goal of my visit. And Fethullah Gülen's activities here, I told them they should be investigated and followed. I can't go into detail here, but I did convey to the Attorney General those issues. Of course, there's 146 charter schools are being mentioned. $500 million are flowing into these schools from American taxpayer money, and of course, the rents are being sort of shown to be higher, all being abused for Fethullah Gülen's needs, and there are also some resources spent on the Gülen organization's perception operations. So we know that some of their funding have been used for different purposes. They bring teachers from Turkey. For example, the United States should question this. Why are there no people here that can teach at these schools? Why do these people have to come from Turkey to teach at these schools? This is because the United States, the people in the United States would not raise these kids according to the organization's ideology. So the goal is also to raise loyal citizens to the organization, just as they infiltrated the government in Turkey. You can be sure that they are also raising people in the United States and getting information from people that they place inside of the United States government. So they said, don't worry about Mossad and CIA. We know what they're doing. This is one of the information that we received based on that conversation. So this member of the organization one day in the United States will also come to a point of being a decision maker. And then this is their ultimate goal. This is what they did in Turkey, and they did the coup attempt in Turkey, and they were unsuccessful. But they may try this in other countries. Their goal is not just to affect the society. They want to become the ultimate decision makers. And they will be using their mechanisms. I mean, you look at people who have, gotten very good education, and they come to a very good position. They may come to a position of someone, very high level. And when you look at their CV, that person shouldn't be there. But you look and they are making $100,000. So we're basically telling our allies to please see this clearly. And if you do not see this, everyone here is young. It's been only 18 years that he's been here. It's been 18 years. If the United States doesn't take any precautions, I'm telling you very, very clearly, in 10 years, you will not even have the necessary resources to take measures against them. Just write this down. I hope all of you have very long, healthy lives, but in 10 years, if you don't take any measures against them, we're all going to see what happens. Then this meeting, you can remember this meeting at that point. You can think that I'm exaggerating. But I hope I'm not right. And in 10 years, I hope I'm not right. And now on the issue of the journalist, there are people in jail in Turkey whose profession is journalism. There are also people whose profession are not journalism. Also in jail, they may be doctors or carpenters or, agriculture. There are also other people. Now, based on our laws, but they are not in jail because they are, conducted journalism or, agriculture. They are investigated based on the charge that, they committed a crime. And if the evidence is found to be true, then they are given a punished. So now, yes, there are people in jail whose profession is to be a journalist, but if they may be in jail because they killed somebody, and their names are also included in international terror organizations. They may be involved in a bombing a police station, for example, or their profession might be journalism, but they were in jail because they were arrested with arms, taking arms to a terror organization. Maybe their profession is journalism. So they may be in jail because they were recruiting members to terrorist organization or spreading propaganda for a terrorist organization. So what I'm saying is that if you look at what crime they committed that put them in jail, I think you will understand better. If you look at their professions, then it's not a clear picture. The profession of someone does not mean that they cannot be helping to finance a terrorist organization or recruiting members for a terrorist organization. Being a journalist does not legitimize these acts. In the United States, if a journalist spreads propaganda for the ISIS terror organization, then what would happen if this journalist legitimizes ISIS ideology or tries to recruit American citizens for ISIS or conducts publications in the United States or Europe? So this would they say, he's a journalist, he can do anything, or would he be tried? So in every part of the world, anybody who is, if he's, conducting terror activities under the guise of journalism, then they would be investigated. This is the same in Turkey. And if he has no crime, then he will be set free. And as the there are people who criticize the president, criticize the prime minister. At the really, everyone says Turkey's nobody can open their mouth, but it's not true. Take any newspaper, take all of the newspapers in Turkey, and just see what is what's being written about Erdogan is like 10 times more than what's being written negatively about Obama. This is very clear. Someone they say like someone tweeted and then he got arrested. This is something that's being said about Turkey. But for example, when someone asked me like who, this person was arrested based on a tweet that they, but then I read the tweet and I read it and, the person had tweeted. Oh, the person had used the F word. The person had used the F word against the president. This is a crime. This is according to our constitution. This is illegal, and so there was a procedure against them. So using the F word, is that a freedom of speech issue? There's no idea here. They are basically criticizing your dead mother. So if you call this freedom of speech, then can't say anything. We can't explain this. But on the issue of press freedom, Turkey has taken a lot of steps, and even though there are a lot of criticisms about this, Turkey really comes, is one of the leading countries on the issue of press freedom. Thank you so much. Yes.